Hey everybody, I hope you're doing very well. I'm gonna try. Fuck it. Sorry, there's a delay. I guarantee there's gonna be like a 4-second delay. My Bluetooth system in my car, it can do phone conversations perfectly, but the second music is involved, it has an issue. Anyway, I just want to kind of rehash some shit that I've talked about in the past. And I want to use some logic to try and reach some people, reach some people that may have a different opinion. So here's my issue. Okay, first of all, my beard is terribly unruly. That's my first issue. Second of all, my issue is with people that say just comply, it's the law. Okay. Now, I do believe that most of those people come from a good place. They come from a place of wanting order. I'm not even going to call it law and order. I'm going to call it order. They want peace. And they truly do believe that it's accomplished by law. But it's horribly short-sighted. And here's why. What are the deadliest... Okay, so that whole premise stems from the idea that the government inherently cares about your best interest, right? That is the base premise, because that's what all laws are founded upon, is the belief that the government has your best interest at heart. Maybe not yours as an individual, but the social your. Which, right off the bat, that is a fallacy. Okay, because they can't have your best interest at heart as well as theirs, because they're diametrically opposed. But anyway, I'm going to dismantle it with evidence. What drugs are legal? Okay? And to what extent does the establishment go to have you ignore that fact? Okay, so let's start basic. We've got tobacco. We've got alcohol. We've got sugar. And if you don't think that's a drug, oh man, take candy away from your kid. Or tell one of your kids they can have candy and the other one that they can't, and I'll show you what kind of drug it is. So we got tobacco, we got alcohol, we got sugar. Let's see. We got gambling. That's a huge drug. And then we've got the ones that have a little bit of a pay to play. We've got Adderall, OxyContin, all of those benzodiazepines, basically alcohol in a pill. All of these are extremely addictive drugs, and yet there's schedules 2 or 3, which means that there's accepted medical uses and lower risk of addiction. But that's not exactly true, is it? Because, alcohol should be Schedule 1 or 2. Alcohol should, and yet it's not even scheduled. It's just free flowing from basically every corner store you could go to. And those same people that tell you that the government has your best interest at heart, how many of them are currently addicted to that legal substance? Probably a lot. A lot is the answer. And if they're not addicted to one of them, they're addicted to another. Television, another drug. And here's my point. The ones that are legal are the most damaging to your health. Tobacco, what good does it do in its current form? Some could argue that ceremonial tobacco, the Indian tobacco, if you want to call it that, that has some benefits, but let's go with your pack of Marlboros or your pack of Newports. What benefit does that do for your body? Nicotine might have some subtle benefits, but that exists without cigarettes, doesn't it? Alcohol damages every single system in your body. It damages your body as well as your mind, as well as your spirit. Why is it called spirits? That's another video for another time. But I'll give you a hint. It's not a coincidence. I mean, why it's called spirits might be a coincidence, but the fact that it's called spirits is not a coincidence. What was the next one? Alcohol, tobacco, sugar. Man, you can get products that have no business containing sugar and find that they have high fructose corn syrup. I mean, there's a bunch of different names for it. What they do is they name it different things. Sucrose, sucralose. I mean, invert syrup. That's another one. Invert syrup. That's sugar. Oh, shit. And so why do they have to hide it? That's my question. Why are they putting this in their foods if they have to hide what it is? It's because it's a drug, guys. It's because it gets you addicted. It's because that same food, without that hidden sugar in it, wouldn't make you want to buy it. Okay? And that's legal. It's completely legal. Now let's discuss what is illegal. Magic mushrooms comes out of the ground, right? Not that everything that comes out of the ground is good, but magic mushrooms has been shown many a time to expand one's thinking and creativity and empathy. Just one use can permanently change one's ability to show empathy. Cannabis. Have you ever seen somebody try to be violent on weed? I mean, that's so true. It's a cliche now. So, and neither of those do any grievous harm, not nearly as much as does alcohol. Okay, and so there's a microcosm of law right there. Drug law. And and so clearly in that aspect they don't care about your best interest. In fact, all of the laws are set up against your best interest. So why should we believe that any other facet of this government has your best interest at heart? And that goes to traffic law, that goes to custody law. These are all instances that the government should have nothing to do with unless you cause loss or harm. Why should they mandate that you contract with a private corporation for insurance? Why should they be allowed to do that? Yet they do. Why should they be allowed to mandate that you have to have licensing to travel? I mean, sure, the predominant excuse is, oh, well, you know, you can travel, you just can't drive. Dude, come on. Come on. That's insane. The entire world runs on gas-powered vehicles. To tell somebody that they can't travel in this specific manner that the rest of the world uses just because they don't have a license to do so. That's absurd. The whole act of licensure comes from the idea that you're doing you have special permission to do something that is otherwise illegal. Why do I have to have a license to participate in the activity that the entire country participates in? Sure, they get licenses, but it's still not a crime to travel by car. I mean, it wasn't a crime to begin with. And that's the problem. They criminalize things, and then weak-minded just went along with it. Why should it? Let's see. Why should it be illegal to not wear a seatbelt? That affects nobody but the wearer. And if you really want to see how not free you are, you're not even free to endanger your own life unless you do it with alcohol, tobacco, or firearms. So, show me. How do gun laws, for instance, how are they in your best interest? Sure, if you've got a midwit, lukewarm IQ son of a bitch, you can say, yeah, it's protecting children and they're going to believe you. But is it? I grew up in Chicago in the suburbs, and regardless of my legal status, I could go out right now and get any sort of gun that I want to without even knowing anybody. I could go out and find somebody to get a gun from. I could. And then I could go use that gun to do whatever I want to use a gun for. I mean, totally independent of lawful permission or legal permission, whatever you want to call it. So, who do gun laws really hurt? It's the people that need protecting against the people that go into Chicago and get a gun from somebody. That's who they hurt. They hurt the people that would protect themselves with that weapon, not the people who assault and offend with those weapons, because they will find one either way. So, how does that benefit your well-being? Dude, what's up has been called down, and what's down has been called up, and nobody is courageous enough to see it. It's not hard to see if you look honestly, but nobody looks honestly. Nobody. And you know what? Nobody will either. That's the thing. Nobody will look honestly until it starts to affect them. That's the relatively old cliche, back the blue until it happens to you. Actually, it's a relatively new cliche, but still, that is it. It's back the blue until it happens to you. People will support cops through all kinds of atrocities. Excuse it as a few bad apples, and keep on promoting that same organization until it affects them. That's because people are inherently narcissistic. We have been bred to be narcissistic by a society of consumerism. Think about this. You have gone over my lifetime from being a customer, which has a customer to a consumer. Now those have two vastly different control matrices, don't they? If you're a customer, you are the one that's responsible for the well-being of the business. Or like the business could not exist without you. If you're a consumer, you can't really exist without the company. And that's what we've been made to be. Anything to make ourselves feel better, right? Anything. Anything except honesty. Anything except integrity. Anything except resilience. Anything except courage. All of these things are sorely lacking because to acknowledge them would be also to acknowledge one's folly in participating in this consumerist society. What you've done is you've sold yourself out. You do trust in your God, but that God you trust, it was once backed by gold. It was once backed by cotton. Now what is it backed by? It's backed by a wish. Your God is invisible. And yet still you trust in him. For what? That God has been used countless times to assault rights that you don't even know you have. To take away possibilities that you didn't even know were there. And you promote that. Why? Why? What good has it done you to do so? All it's gotten you is hatred in your heart for somebody who sees a different solution to this mess. Now, that's what is really fought over, though, isn't it? It's the solution, not the mess. Everybody agrees we're in a mess. And every 4 years or 8 years, the faces change, but the mess stays tangled, doesn't it? So what good has it done you? The rich have gotten richer, and the only reason your bank account might show more dollars is because each dollar is worth less. But I bet you your bank account shows no more dollars than it did, 15 years ago. And if it does, back to my inflation issue, is the value of what's in your account actually higher than the value of your account 15 years ago? I doubt it is. 15 years ago, I could fill my gas tank for $15. Now, well, let's see, no, not 15 years ago. 20 years ago, I could fill my gas tank for $50 or $15. Now it takes almost $50. And yet, wages have remained mostly stagnant. Sure, you get a little movement, you get a little raise, you get a little bit of an increase just to show, because people respond to events, not to reality. So as long as something changes, they don't really question what the change is, or if it benefits them, or if it matters at all. Anyway, 20 minutes is good enough. I'm going to leave it at that. I hope you all have a wonderful day.